Light is Britain's far-right conspiracy theory paper spreading hate and vicious lies. No, that's what the BBC say. The Light is the only national newspaper bringing you the real news and informed opinion on what's really going on today. You can subscribe, order copies, submit articles, and read back issues on our website, thelightpaper.co.uk, and see for yourself why the establishment are so worried about the uncensored truth getting out to people every month. The Light Paper. Not far right, just right so far. thelightpaper.co.uk.
Scene script. Have you ever pondered the idea of financial independence and early retirement? The notion of not having to clock in at 9 or wrestle with the daily grind? Imagine a life where you're not shackled by financial obligations or a demanding job. It's not an impossible dream, but a reality for those who embrace the FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early. Consider the tale of Jane, a woman in her early 30s. Jane was an ordinary person living an ordinary life. She had a 9-to-5 job, a mortgage, car payments, and a lifestyle that was comfortable but hardly extravagant. And like most people, she dreamed of a life where she didn't have to worry about money. Jane decided to make a change. She began by cutting back on non-essential expenses, saving as much of her income as possible. She invested wisely, focusing on assets that generated passive income that didn't require her to trade time for money. Slowly but surely, Jane began to build her financial independence. She was still working, but she was no longer living paycheck to paycheck. She had a safety net, a cushion that gave her the freedom to make choices based on what she wanted, not what she needed. Fast forward 10 years, Jane, now in her early 40s, had achieved her goal. She was financially independent. She had enough passive income to cover her living expenses, and she no longer needed to work to survive. She was free to retire early, to spend her time as she pleased. Jane's story may seem extraordinary, but it's not unique. It's the story of anyone who has embraced the principles of the FIRE movement. It's a tale of discipline, of sacrifice, and of a relentless pursuit of financial independence. To summarize, the key points discussed today revolve around the idea of financial independence and early retirement. It requires discipline and sacrifice, cutting back on non-essential expenses and saving as much as possible. It involves investing wisely, focusing on assets that generate passive income. But most importantly, it requires a change in mindset. It's about seeing money not as a means to buy things, but as a tool to buy freedom. It's about understanding the true value of time and the freedom that comes with not having to trade it for money. This is the essence of the FIRE movement. It's not just about retiring early, it's about achieving financial independence, about gaining the freedom to live life on your own terms. Like Jane, you too can embrace the principles of the FIRE movement and embark on a journey towards financial independence and early retirement. After all, the only thing standing between you and your financial freedom is you.
Ever wondered how much you'd need to save to achieve financial independence? The answer lies within the mathematics of a concept known as FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The most essential number in your journey to financial independence is calculated by multiplying your annual spend by 25. Notice the emphasis on annual spend, not annual income. This calculation is based on the principle that you need £300 invested for every pound you wish to spend each month in passive income. Hence, your FIRE number is also your monthly spend times 300. This mathematical principle is founded on the 4% safe withdrawal rate, as defined by financial advisor William Bengen. He proposed this rate after analyzing the S&P 500, which typically produces an average of better than 10% growth per year when studied over a period of approximately 30 years. Bengen considered factors such as inflation and market volatility. After studying previous market activity, he concluded that a 4% rate of withdrawal per year would provide for a 30-year sustainable portfolio in the vast majority of cases. So to paint a clearer picture, if your monthly spend is £1,000, then your target for financial independence is 300 times 1,000, or £300,000. Alternatively, if your annual spend is £12,000, your financial independence target is 25 times 12,000, which also equates to £300,000. The first step in planning your financial independence, therefore, lies in understanding your monthly and yearly expenditure. Without this knowledge, it is impossible to take further strides towards your financial freedom. In summary, the mathematics of FIRE revolves around the principle of multiplying your annual spend by 25 or your monthly spend by 300 based on the 4% safe withdrawal rate. Knowing your monthly and annual spend is crucial in determining the amount you need to save to achieve financial independence. Armed with this knowledge, you can then plan your journey towards financial freedom. Remember, the journey to financial independence is not a sprint, but a marathon. Embrace the mathematics of FIRE and take the first step towards your financial independence today.
Good morning, guys. It's 11:41 on Monday, the 2nd of December 2024, and that means that we have 2 years and 35 weeks completed of what will be roughly an 8-year FIRE journey or experiment. Let's start by having a look at the state of play as things stand. So currently, the current market price is sitting just below £90 at 89.97. The price is down 0.25% today so far. The portfolio value is 21,875, and the current return on investment sitting at just over 30%. So let's get on and have a look at the notifications while I remember, because I know sometimes I don't. So Stellantis tumbles 8% as CEO steps down abruptly, citing board disagreements. Trouble at Mill. I don't know what that company is. I would suppose by the name it maybe has something to do with space exploration, but as I say, I don't know. MicroStrategy up 6% amid Bitcoin's renewed push towards $100,000. Again, not a clue what that's about. And that doesn't matter, because if those companies are included in the S&P 500, then when I execute today's purchase, I will be buying part of them. And given I think both of those were on the fall, oh no, they weren't. One was down, one was up. Then you would be buying in at whatever the price point is right now. Anyway, the beauty with ETF investing is that you're buying the whole index, or at least in my case, the top 500 shares in the index. And for that reason, because the index is self-cleansing, those companies that are not performing as well as others might will eventually drop off the index to be replaced by something better. And really, from that point of view, by buying the top 500, you should be buying the best of the best, and really minimizing your risks vastly. Personally speaking, to make my investments, I do have it automated, and except for this is the practice account, if you like, which I don't think you can automate. I'm not 100% sure, but I do this one manually for your benefit and mine, I suppose. But yeah, as regards the my own personal portfolio, I have it invested automatically. I use Monzo as my bank account, and whilst I'm not being sponsored or anything like that by Monzo, they do have an introductory offer, and here's a little advert just to try to convince you.
I want a bank that makes money easy.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
And you are?
We're a bank called Monzo.
I want a bank that shows me what I spend instantly.
No problem, just give us a go. See?
Can you make splitting bills easy?
Super easy, check this out.
But it's a real faff to sign up.
It takes less than 10 minutes.
Race you.
You're on.
Can I talk to a real person 24/7?
Of course.
Even now?
Yep.
Even now?
Anytime.
Can you tell me when I'm running a little low on cash?
We certainly can.
Cool. Can I afford these?
You certainly can't, sorry. Can't afford that either.
That's a real shame.
Not really. Time's up, how'd you get on?
It's a draw.
Can you help me save for my next holiday?
Oh, how about you set up a savings pot in the Monzo app called Barbados, baby?
Thanks for listening, Monzo.
We're all ears.
We can go now.
Rude. You make Monzo Monzo.
Okay, so as you would have seen at the bottom of the screen, there is an affiliate link in the description for the video. If you use that link to create a Monzo account, if you fund it and make a purchase all within 30 days, then both you and I would receive £5, I believe. The terms and conditions will be displayed for you to have a read at in your own time if you follow the affiliate link. Personally, what I really like about Monzo is the app and the fact that execution on transactions is instantaneous, irrespective of weekends or bank holidays. I do something in my Monzo app and it happens straight away, and that is even true internationally. I have made payments abroad before, and I can happily confirm that the person I was sending the money to confirmed they received it straight away, seconds later. So with that plug set, let's go ahead and do this week's investment. So we hit the buy button, and if you've been following the channel before, you'll know that each week I invest 120 pounds worth of the practice fund into the Vanguard S&P 500 exchange traded fund, and as you know, we're using Trading 212, the practice account, which basically gives you £50,000 to play with, and I do this as a market order, so that means there is no limits, high or low or anything like that. It is just whatever current execution is going to be, and from looking at the figures here, it looks as though we're going to be buying roughly 1 1/3 shares. Just before I send that through, let's just take a note of the current average purchase price, which is 68.62. Obviously that's going to increase due to the fact that we are buying at a higher price today, almost £89, almost £90, and let's just see how much that changes. Bear in mind we're only going to influence it by £120 set against 21,000, so it's not going to be a massive change, probably about 10p. But let's see. So currently 68.62. I would estimate 68.73, but let's send it and see. So we bought at £90 and we got 1 1/3 shares, and I was slightly wrong. I was a 1p out, so the current average purchase price is now 68.74, and yeah, the price has actually just gone over the £90 again. I say again because the fact that the price is down 1/5% now for the day suggests that it started at over 90. So let's just roll down and have a look and see. And indeed, if we look at the days range, you can see that the price was £90.25 at start of trading, and has fallen back a little bit. In terms of the 52-week range, you can see that we're still virtually at the highest point that we have seen on the S&P 500 in the last rolling 12 months, and I mean that is the the highest that has been seen. It's pretty easy to drag backwards, and you can see that there's 2021, 2020, and from the time that this started in around about £25 roughly, and the trend obviously has been steadily upwards for the most part, perhaps with the exception of COVID and then the war in the Ukraine. Donald Trump's re-election has given the market a bit of new impetus, and it doesn't seem to have been too concerned about the ongoing conflict in the Ukraine and elsewhere, despite the suggestion that there's probably more likelihood at present of some kind of nuclear issue somewhere in the world than there may have been previously, but nevertheless the market is displaying confidence, I think it's fair to say, and things are not looking too bad from that point of view. Guys, that is pretty much it for this week. I think we've covered everything. We've had a look at the notifications. We've done this week's investment. So yes, if actually just let me, I keep doing this where I think I'm finished and then I realise no, not quite. I just wanted to point out the actual return on investment, although I'm talking in percentage terms mostly, and really that is what you should focus on. But even just look at the monetary terms here, 5,200. I mean, who would have thought when we started this a little over 2.5 years ago that we would have made a gain at this stage already of 5,200. I find that quite staggering. Now it may well be that that's not sustainable and that things taper off, but equally, I mean, let's just have a little look for comparison. What if we were to have invested money into a bank? Well, I suppose it wouldn't be an investment, but anyway, let's say, okay, so how much have we actually invested? So we're going to, what I'm going to do first of all, just a quick calculation. Let me make that bigger so you've got half a chance of seeing it. I just want to know, so I'm just taking the current portfolio value and then the current return on investment. I'm not worrying about the pounds and pence. I'm going to say that equals that minus that. So we're basically saying that the amount invested is 16,806. What I want to know is if we took a let's be kind of unrealistic. Let's say you were going to get 5% per year if you put your money into a bank. Let's see how much you would have made after 1 year. So we'll multiply that amount invested by 5%, and then we will see what the result of that would be, this would be year 1. So the result's going to be that plus that. Okay, let's do a year 2. Will X, oh it does, lovely. So for year 2, we're going to say that this will be the growth, if you like. We'll say that is, so we'll take the amount that we had there. Now bear in mind, we're not adding anything to this. And I am just starting with the sort of total that we've invested over the period, but I'm starting as if we had it all invested in at the start of year 1. So we'll multiply by 5% again. Slightly more, obviously, because we started with slightly more, so it's a compounding effect. And the result then is what? So the result, I'm not sure if I'm doing the exact same as before or not, but basically it's the growth plus the starting point, if you like, 18.5. Now, obviously we've got a little more than 2.5 years done, so let's extrapolate it even further. Let's do it for a 3rd year. Let's calculate what the growth would be on that times 5. And the result then would be that plus the amount. So there you go. If if you had been lucky enough to find a savings account that was yielding 5% per annum, if you had invested 16,000 at the start, and not added to it other than through compounded interest, in the first year you would have seen interest of roughly 840. That would have brought you up to below 18,000 of a portfolio value, or a bank account value, I suppose it would be. Second year you would have interest of 880 odd. That added to the balance would give you roughly 18,500 in your bank. And at the end of the 3rd year, which we're not at yet in terms of this experiment, you would see interest worth just over £900, and your bank account closing balance for the end of the year would be just under 19,500, which is not great when you compare that to the 22,000 which we have achieved when we didn't even start with 16,000 invested. We have 16,000 invested now, but we didn't start at that point. So there you go. I just thought I would do that for comparison. But obviously there are no absolute certainties with this, and money invested could rise as well as fall, and it's always important to state that you could get back less than you invest, particularly if you don't know what you're doing and choose to invest in things that are not perhaps the best choices, or that could be influenced significantly by other unforeseeable events. And that's pretty much the case for the whole market. Nobody could have seen COVID coming unless you were involved in the planning, and that's the way it is. So as I say, thank you for watching. If you're interested in following the journey, why not subscribe to the channel? If you particularly liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Any comments, questions, criticisms, leave them in the comments below, and I will read them in due course. Have a great end to your Monday, and see you next week if you follow the journey. Thanks for watching.